The best way to start my day is usually with an iTalk session. I feel like this is good for two reasons. One is I'm able to kind of gauge the mental state that I'm beginning each day with, and I'm able to prioritize what I'm looking to get out of each day. This allows me to set realistic expectations for what I'm looking to get out of each day and be able to prioritize so I can devote my energy to what is most needed in that moment, which can often change day by day.
So I've been using iTalk just about every single workday, and I primarily use it in the mornings before I come in to the lab so I can plan out my day, what I want to get done, and then I also use it in the evenings after I'm done working for the day so I can summarize what I've done that day and also think about and start planning what I want to do the next day. And I find that this really helps me organize my days very clearly, where I can set a very clear plan for myself of, oh, I want to get these certain things done today. And it also, by doing it in the evenings as well, helps me think about the things I've done, and if there were any issues that arose, I can talk about those and kind of get a nice stream of consciousness thinking, and it helps me think through those problems. And it also helps me recall things that I maybe thought about earlier in the day and then forgot to think about, and I can helps remind me to do those things the next day.
And I've also used iTalk to plan out either my day or my upcoming week with the things that I want to get done and my main projects. And being able to organize my plan for a week or a day and categorize those different tasks helps me see the direction that my projects are going in, which is really helpful to also see the big picture.
For example, if I'm attending a class or attending a lecture, I usually, like on my drive home from class, will just review what I've learned during the class, one, just so I can digest it better, but also while I'm digesting it, I can think of certain ways that I can use that knowledge either for, say, a project or a homework assignment in that class, but also kind of more generally in my research, or the ideas may come up in other segments of my life. And so that's how I can use it to digest certain knowledge.
The first way is after learning new concepts, I like to review those ideas, and iTalk makes me think about the concepts and talk about them in my own words, which really strengthens my understanding of them. And the format of iTalk requires me to draw connections by summarizing different columns and ideas into a one-sentence summary, which really helps me see the big picture.
I also use iTalk to help me deal with some emotional problems. Whenever I have a fight with my girlfriend, if I find time to be with myself alone, I'll do iTalk to go through my emotions, talk through some solutions for myself.
When there's a lot of issues in my life, like something breaks in the lab, or I have something going on at home or whatever, I lose track of all of those things, and so they come up, you think about them. But I've found this is a really nice way to be able to look back and track my progress. I can look back like a month ago and say, oh, like what was I looking at a month ago? And it was how to put wires down on something, and now the wires are down. So it gives you like a progress report and a way to directly analyze the problem.
When certain issues come up in my head that really won't leave my head until I have a coherent opinion on that. So this could be like thinking about different options for a force sensor in an experimental design, or how do I want to frame a certain poster or presentation. This will allow me to get my thoughts onto a tangible, website or piece of paper, so that I can keep track of them, review them, but also I can kind of see them grow and summarize them, and so I can have like a more coherent understanding of where the different paths lead and like the pros and cons of each of those paths.
Something I found that was really useful during the so-called stack process that we use in iTalk is the trigger portion. I don't typically think about why we're having a problem. I would say, oh, there's a problem, let's solve it. And the way that I would think about that is to respond to the problem in front of me to fix it, as opposed to saying, what is the problem, and like analyzing that portion. So a big thing this has helped me do is, instead of using my brain in response to a problem, to sit down and just think about thinking and how we structure our thinking to make it so that when we are trying to respond to some problem where your brain wants to work, you have a better method of doing it that's structured. I never have done that in my life before, and I've found that, like, even just the way when I'm thinking about how to cook dinner or something is now becoming more structured along these lines. You know, for like, what do I have? I have onions and tomatoes and celery, and like, I need this, but I don't have it. What can I use to replace it? And all of that has been very helpful in my own personal life, as well as my keeping my research activities on track. I've found when there's a problem, this is like the best way I've ever come up or seen to write down what the problem is, come up with potential solutions, and explore the different possibilities, all in a quick manner that doesn't require like a whole team setting where you need an hour to think about something.
So overall, iTalk helps me plan out and schedule my day, and also helps me solve problems that I might have run into throughout the day.
So that's kind of what I've been using this iTalk thing for mostly, is to organize my thoughts when I find a problem and to sort of review my life in my own personal life.
So I think a main theme in using iTalk personally has been being able to draw connections and think in new ways that I might not have been able to otherwise. And my poem is: I talk, I think, I connect, I repeat.